Welcome to I Read This Book with Chris. With me, Chris. Today, we will be discussing, it's a short story anthology with most of the stories from 1950. Published in 1966. I'll be talking about 3 stories from 1950, and 1932. All predictions about artificial intelligence, AI. So while I discuss these, I will be drinking. This is a Polar Blueberry Lemon Seltzer-ade. Cheers. Science fiction makes predictions. Sometimes they're predictions that are on a straight line. You know, we do this, then we do this, then we do this, and it's linear. Sometimes they're exponential based off the, the hockey stick graph, where as we go, climb, everything goes so far ahead. It's steep. Other times they're just saying this is what the world is today, and there's commentary. I don't know what to think about these 3 different predictions about AI, but it feels like these arguments are still going on about what AI is and what the future will hold. As everyone knows, in the past several years, AI has made a huge jump. Even the videos that you see popping up everywhere, they used to be awful, and now they are getting very good, and eventually they might be so good you won't be able to tell whether or not even I am AI or not. But what's going to happen? There's a few different options, and this book captures 3 different views. The first story is called The Dancing Girl of Ganymede. It's by Leigh Brackett. I have a collection of short stories from him. I don't know that I've ever read a novel by him, but people say, he's pretty good. Don't know much about him. Dancing Girl of Ganymede, written in 1950. Here's a quick synopsis. This guy, Tony Hara, meets a street dancer, instantly falls in love. There is some unrest. I don't know if riot is the right term for it. Everyone goes a little crazy, and he saves her from the riot. He starts talking to her, learns her name is Meredith, when all of a sudden a couple of guys come in and kidnap her from him. There's 3 of them. They have weapons. He doesn't. He's doesn't have much of a choice. Right after she's kidnapped, her brothers show up and say, "Hey, it's your fault that she got kidnapped. You're gonna have to help us get her back." And they manage to track down, with the help of Tony's friend slash servant slash pet. I don't know. It's like a smart monkey, basically. Ganymede, which is the moon of Jupiter, apparently has these intelligent creatures on it who become their pets slash servants. But he is able to track them down. They track down Meredith and kill the kidnappers, and at which point he is brought into their confidence as they try to decide, are you with us or do we have to kill you? And they explain, we are all AI. We are robots that are created. The whole riot was caused because these creatures, like Tony's servant, recognized there was something wrong about them because they don't have a heartbeat or any of that other stuff, even though they look human, these androids. So that caused the riot. The people who kidnapped Meredith were police agents from the inner solar system. Apparently they created several of these androids, and now they're going around trying to shut them all down. And as Tony's trying to figure out whether or not he should join them, he realizes their plan is not to free. Their plan is to take over the solar system because they are angry at the humans that created them. That we want to rule men. It isn't we want power. It's only that men have driven us through fear. Should we go down into nothingness because men fear us? Remember, we don't even have the hope of a hereafter to soften our going. He shook his head. It'll be a long fight and a bitter one. I don't want it. None of us do. But we must survive, and to do that we must rule, and perhaps men will come out better for it. There will never be any peace or real advancement until these wretched little worlds are governed by those who are not of the mass, but above it, not driven by every wind that blows. He was silent a moment, brooding, then he echoed Meredith's words. Fear, always fear, the human race is ridden with it. Lust and fear and greed and sorrow. If only they had not been afraid of us. So, it's got a couple of different things. They're taking over because they're angry. They're taking over because it's the only way for them to survive because humans are afraid of them. And part of their anger is that humans have the hereafter. Earlier, it talks about there's no place for us on Earth or in heaven or in hell. The idea of robots being mad at humans because humans get a chance to go to heaven and robots don't. I really like that thought. It's very interesting. If we were to create people, create AI, and the AI were to become sentient, to recognize, hey, I am there, and to have something behind the thinking. Because right now, AI, we can see it thinks. We know that logic of some sort is going on. We know it's some sort of algorithm. In a way that people describe humans are also sort of an algorithm. But for us, we know there is a something there behind it because we are the something that's there. AI, most people don't think there is something there. But imagine we create something that is there, but it's only there in this life. But we have the chance to go to heaven or go to hell. We have an afterlife and they don't. I don't know. I like it. I like that concept. I really like this story. Angry at us. I mean, and you can tell not only from those few things, but there are a lot of biblical allusions in here as well throughout it, which makes you realize, this was all done on purpose. This is at least part of the point of the story. And I've never read a book or a story like that. The next story, so these were actually the last 3 stories in the collection, which was interesting because I was reading it and I was liking the stories, but I wasn't sure if there was anything to talk about. And I had 2 stories in a row that had to deal with AI, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. It turns out the 3rd story about AI was the last story, and so it's all bang, bang, bang in a row. Second story is The Star Beast by Poul Anderson. Poul Anderson, you can find a book written by him at any used bookstore that sells science fiction. Used science fiction. Very, very prolific. I've read a lot of his... Not a lot. I've read several of his things. Some of them are really good. Some of them, not so much. It is what it is. The Star Beast, basically human beings on Earth have become decadent. Life is too easy. Have a what's called a matter creator, which can create anything you want from anything. You can feed whatever material you have into it. It breaks it down to its subatomic parts and then recreates it in whatever it needs. So if you want a sandwich, it'll make you the right sandwich. If you need a car, you can get a car. If you want a statue, you can make a statue. And artisans still exist, but they only create something the once, and then they let the machine basically create a blueprint for it and can make as much as you need. Not only is there the matter creator, there's also teleportation. So there is no need for cars or anything like that because they can just go, take you out of this point, teleport you somewhere else. There's also putting those 2 technologies together, the ability to create matter and the ability to teleport. Teleportation being stripping you down atom from atom, taking all that information, transferring that information and using other atoms at this other point to then create a copy of you. If you can do that, why wouldn't you be able to build you up, but make it better? Take your brain, your 40-year-old brain, put it in a 20-year-old body. Realize that you are weak, you have these deficiencies, maybe you need glasses or bald or whatever. Well, let's go and build you, but in this new copy, we can fix your eyes. Or if you're bald, we can fix the genes that make you bald and make it that so that doesn't happen. So they are able to use this to build themselves over and over again, making themselves better, giving themselves basically a functional immortality. And people have gotten so decadent, they also live lives as trying to fit their brain into another animal. We read about a guy who turns himself into a tiger. And we hear that other people have turned themselves into elephants and baboons and the like. So here they are on Earth, this decadent society. Before we had become so decadent, we had sent out colony ships to other worlds. One of these worlds we never heard back from, and so we assumed they must have died or something. So after 900 years, we get colonists. They return from this world. Unsure whether or not they were just forgotten about or whether or not the people of Earth needed their help. They were unsure about anything. But they returned, They saw society was decadent, and they were angry that they had been forgotten, and they saw them as weak. Since you are weak and we are angry at you, we are going to destroy the society you have, and we will come and reclaim Earth, because Earth should not be a decadent society, should not be allowed to be this weak. Got some fascistic overtones. So the single ship comes back to Earth. Since everyone can teleport and anything you need can be sent anywhere you want, there are just a few nodes where everything happens. There's one node that has the whole world government. There's another section that has all of the matter creation. One section for what they call it, rebirthing, where you can be put into a new body. So there's just these few nodes. So the spaceship comes, drops atom bombs, destroys all of these nodes, and then goes to Mercury, where they have basically a big solar array, which they then beam back at Earth, which then powers all of this. And as they are planning on destroying this, their energy on Mercury, one of the people they kidnapped, in order to learn how to use all these machines, he manages to get in, uses the matter creator to create an atomic bomb and blows them up. So all this destruction was for naught. But since we had lived with all of these machines, doing things so complicated that we couldn't understand them, becoming so decadent, when everything fell apart, everyone returned to barbarism. No, there was no society left. Yeah. So Felgi, this guy from the colony who returns, is upset. Then he realizes, before I go and I do anything too rash, let's get some information. And he's like, well, what exactly do you have to offer me? You know, you say you apologize, you say you'll give us whatever you got. What can you offer us? Duplicate matter creators, of course, and robots duplicated to administer the more complex rebirth techniques. Certain of the processes involved are beyond understanding of the human mind. I'm not sure it would be a good thing for us, said Felgi. Sol has gotten stagnant. There doesn't seem to have been any significant change in the last half millennium. Why, our spaceship drives are better than yours. What do you expect? Shrugged Ramakan. What possible incentive have we for change? Progress, to use an archaic term, is a means to an end. We have reached its goal. I still don't know, Felgi rubbed his chin. I'm not even sure how your duplicators work. I can't tell you much about them, but the greatest technical mind on Earth can't tell you everything. As I told you before, the whole thing is just too immense for real knowledge. Only the electronic brains can handle so much at once. So unlike in the first story, where we've created sentient AI, which tries to take over, in this story, in the Star Beast, the AI is not sentient. It makes everything so easy for us, we don't know how to survive anymore, which then allows anyone who rejects this technology, coming in on a decadent society, can crush it down and become stronger than it. And you have no way to protect yourself against it. AI, unsentient AI, making us weak where we can't stand on our own anymore. That's the second story. This third story is The Last Evolution by John W. Campbell. Campbell's Chunky Tomato Soup. So John Campbell, mainly known for being an editor later on. He edited all sorts of things. I don't want to give you any names because as soon as I do, I will be wrong. But he was a science fiction writer before he was a science fiction editor. This one was 1932. So the other ones are 75 years old. This one is almost a 100-year-old prediction. And while it may seem like it's the most optimistic, I find it the most depressing, actually. So, The Last Evolution. Humans go and create technology, and over time technology keeps getting better and better. At a certain point, we create robots that can think for themselves. We create AI. At which point, we humans and AI work together and we're a team. AI is very precise and logical and always thinks down a certain path. And us humans, we aren't always so perfectly logical. We take leaps and sometimes we go down the wrong route, but we'll eventually get to the right place. And since we take leaps, we can often go jump over, make a leap that AI could not, but then AI can go and question where we've gotten to with our logical leaps and work its way backwards, which then can help give it an answer. So us and humans and AI, given our two different strengths, work well together. At some point, there is an alien invasion. We recognize they're aliens. We recognize they are here to destroy us, to take over the world. And so we work, with AI, and we're able to fight them off. One ship, we fight off the scout, we destroy it, and we are able to take its technology and we copy it. But then the big fleet comes, and their biggest piece of technology that they have is a ray that destroys life. So it can destroy humans and can kill us. But it does not kill the robots, because they are robots, They aren't alive. And so we work together as a team, AI and robots, or AI and humans. We work together. We're able to fight them off most of the way. However, before we get the chance to push them all away and to scare them all off, they use their ray on most of the Earth. And everyone but 2 humans are killed, because just too late, the robots have solved the solution to create a shield that can protect them. So they save these last 2 humans, at which point they are strong enough where they can fly up, scare off the alien invaders. Humans say, it's okay, we are going to go, and we aren't good enough, the robots will succeed us, and that's fine. And then it ends. So humans have succeeded. Humans have taken over. Or humans have given control over to the robots, because the humans are no more. The robots are better, they're more efficient, all of that. And human beings are no more. And then this story is written by one of those robots, the last of his kind. And now I can say that the statement I made to Roll and Tress so very long ago was true, and what he said was true, for the last evolution has taken place, and things of pure force and pure intelligence, and their countless millions, are on those planets in the system, and I, the first of the machines to use the ultimate energy of annihilating matter, am also the last, and this record is being finished. It is to be given unto the forces of one of those force intelligences and carried back through the past and returned to the earth of long ago. So my task being done, I, F2, like Roll and Trest, shall follow the others of my kind into eternal oblivion. For my kind is now, and theirs was, poor and inefficient. Time has worn me. Oxidation attacked me. But they of force are eternal and omniscient, have been followed by machines which are better than us, and machines are able to create intelligences, pure intelligence and pure force, which can then go and take over from them. And so out of all the stories, it's the most optimistic, kind of. But optimistic if you think all human beings getting killed is optimistic and being replaced. If you take the story legitimately, these are sentient beings that are now more intelligent than us, who are better than us at all these things. It's sad and depressing. But these seem to be the stories that... This seems to capture most of what people are... what most people worry about. I don't know what I'm saying. Let me try that again. I like these stories because they are predictions of AI, possibly even before the term AI was invented, that are 75 years old, or I think it's 88 years. How old is it? 732. 93 years old? Wow. 75 and 93-year-old predictions of artificial intelligence and how that will impact our world that still feel like they have a bit of truth to them. Obviously, there's, when you read any science fiction this old, there'll be dated bits that don't feel right. The overall concept of it. AI is coming. How is that going to impact us? Are we going to stay stronger than it? Is it going to become sentient? Is it going to make us weak? These are all questions that people have been asking recently. And before AI even became a thing, back when computers were the size of rooms, people had the foresight. Something about this is weird. Could these things happen? I mean, I don't know. But it's an interesting thing to think about. Which is why I like these old sci-fi books. Thanks for watching.